Hello, welcome to the Brave One podcast. I'm your host Rob, and I'm joined by Mr. Nathan Prescott for the GHB General's Handbook 2023 review. It was a Monday show that we missed.
Yes, we did. Yeah, yeah, we missed it. Well, yes, I missed it.
You missed it.
I mean, yeah, I think everybody else was there.
Everyone else was there. It was there. Yeah, it was quite a busy show. So yeah, we hadn't looked at the General's Handbook, but we've completely looked at the General's Handbook. I've done a review. I've done a review on the YouTubes.
Thanks to that content creator fella.
Thank you to that. Apparently, they're in loads. They're in loads of trouble. Because apparently, okay, before you, just so you all know what we're talking about. So here, this is what we're going to use. The content creator thing. It's that button I pressed.
Nice.
What do you think?
It made us little and
that big.
That content.
Do you want to press this one there? See what that does.
Oh, cool.
Is that your favourite one?
Yeah.
I like this. I like this version. And for podcast people listening, we're now looking at overlays. I like this one because you can see the chat in the little corner.
Okay.
But
so what do you see there then? Oh,
that's one. Yeah, nothing. You just see it's just us and the thing.
The thing and what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
And then that one is there.
Yeah.
So you can see the chat.
Which is your preferred one?
I mean, I can't read that chat at all.
You can't. It's there. It's meant to be bigger. If you're watching this on a big TV at home, which I imagine everyone is doing, this is being projected on the big TV.
So they would have the chat there, and then would they have the chat somewhere else as well?
They could if they wanted to have the chat. But the reason that it's in the overlay, this is an awful start to it all, but I'll tell you anyway. The reason is the overlay, when I redesigned the overlay, is because, as you know, I streamed for 550 days during lockdown.
Yeah.
And me and the chat have developed a real relationship. I love the chat. I love streaming, and I love that they're part. So, like, when I do a show, I like to include them in the footage because they're part of it.
Yeah.
It's like a
them fellas. In fact, they're probably the main. We're nicking your content and putting it on the telly.
Exactly. They're smarter than me and funnier. Exactly. I do sometimes stream you guys on the TV with an electric blanket. It's great. You're on a 50-inch TV over here, Colonel Cabbage. What? Hello to the Cabbage's wife, if she's listening.
He didn't say TV. He just said we're on 50 inches.
Yeah.
He's got a projector, and he's projecting it onto his 50-inch knob.
Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted for YouTube content. Right, okay, so we're going to go through the GHB. Because Nathan internet didn't work, and then we've done it in person, so I've trapped him in the room.
Yeah,
I've trapped you in the room. How do you feel about that?
It's not hard to trap me in here.
It's not.
There's loads of honey.
There is actually, yeah. Right, so the General's Handbook. Now we actually wildly. This isn't out. So another thing, this isn't out for 3 more weeks. So it goes on pre-order on it's either out on the 21st or out on the 14th, and it goes pre-order on one of them. So it's like ages away. So this thing got leaked like ahead of time. So the gossip behind that, which I haven't told you, is that like some content creator leaked it. Apparently, the color of the content creator code is like they're going to be able to track him down because of it, and they're in trouble.
It's all about the color. Again.
It's all about exactly right. But the Classic Games Workshop, but so that's the gossip. Apparently they're in trouble, but we don't know anything about this. This was given to me at one point during the process, but it was like, don't talk about it. But then as soon as it's on all the Facebook pages, I talked about it.
Yeah.
So, which seems fair. So then there's 3 weeks, I can see it right there. I must be crazy.
You're one of those oracles again.
So the contents, this is the bit we can start off with. You have read the story at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, because it's a different, in my review video I said that they use like a meta-narrative to drive the story. What is the actual story in this bit? What was the GHB story?
It's not a very long story.
Well, classic them, but but still.
So, they're still fighting in the tunnels in Galette, or Galais, or whatever that place is.
Yeah, can we settle this?
No.
Is it Galais or Galette?
You have to go there and ask people that live there.
At the place?
Yeah.
Sounds French.
But, yeah, it doesn't sound French.
Yeah, is it a gilet? Could you wear a gilet in Galais? Galais?
Anyway, I don't know what. We'll just. Anyway, that plays Skelet.
Yeah.
The best. So they're still. So they don't fight on the surface. Everybody fights in tunnels.
They do. Wait, is it still in the... There's no surface fighting?
No, it's too not great up there. There's violent weather.
There's violent weather.
It's like storms and stuff. Have you ever read Brandon Sanderson? Like
Lightbringer?
The Roshan planet. Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's
okay.
like that.
So is there any sort of effect on Kaharadron overlords during the weather?
They just fly in tunnels.
They fly in tunnels?
Wind tunnels, yeah.
Those are massive tunnels.
Yeah, big tunnels.
Wow. Okay, that is bigger. There were bigger tunnels than I thought they were going to be.
Well, they got mega gargants wandering around down there.
Oh yeah. Who built the tunnels? Does it say? Big
fellas. There's a few theories on it, and they mention a couple of them.
You know theories? Tell me the theories.
One of them is like some Skaven nutters, obviously with some big drilling machines. I think there's like a worm thing as well, possibly, that's done it. And
what, like Dune?
Big worm monster. You know, it's in...
Yeah, in Dune.
Yeah. Oh,
you've seen Dune?
I've not been there, but I've heard of it. And then...
It's a film! Have you seen the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
There weren't any tunnels, because they're full
They're in sand.
Yeah, exactly.
They're in sand.
These
but it could be that there's like in Lord of the Rings, where the worms pop up at the Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Was that in the book? No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
That
Which book? The Hobbit?
Artistic liberties.
Yeah, neither were the goat cavalry, but were we?
Yeah, artistic. They can artistically.
Yeah.
Liberate whatever they want.
Don't laugh at. Have you seen it? And no, I've never been. Don't encourage him.
What?
They're yeah. So okay, there are giant tunnels, and there might be a worm.
Yeah, or rats, or I can't remember.
So those are the theories.
There were a few theories there.
Okay, so we're still in the. Okay, so we're in the tunnels, right? Okay,
and then everybody's after something down there. I think it's amber bone or something.
Like, amber bone.
Yeah,
is it realms? Is that realm
like
stuff?
realm goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because this is like new stuff that got introduced like 2 or 3 years ago. So some people might be not au fait with it, but like at one point when they were like getting the narrative of the realms together, like the world building, each realm has got its own sort of like special magical thing.
Yeah.
Where the magic of the realm is kept in it. So like in Death, Hish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaish.
Oh, thank you to some Norwegian dude for donating £10 and saying, "Can we get Nathan a bit louder, please?" No, this has got to be a YouTube show. Don't. Okay, that's fine. I'm just quieter now. I've just made it so I'm quieter.
Oh, okay.
And then you're a bit louder.
Yeah. So then turn up the volume on your telly.
You have one of these voices that weirdly just doesn't...
That doesn't project. I keep it to myself. I don't like sharing my voice.
Right, okay. Hey, Archaeos Chosen. Right, so we're in the tunnels, and then they're all after... Oh, yeah, so in the realms, so in the realm of death, it's sand.
Yeah, but it's got a name as well, isn't it? It is... I can't remember.
Realmstone? But there was also shade glass, but that was different.
No, yeah,
that was different.
Thing
and then in... Because we're in the realm of Gur, right? The realm of beasts and monsters. So this is Amberbone. Amberbone. Is it made of amber or is it in amber? Is it?
No, it's just the word that they used to call it.
Okay.
What it is.
What it is. Some sort of magical bone.
Instead of calling it something else.
So we're all looking for Amberbone.
Yeah.
And is there any other story? Because we know, or we think we know, the rumour is Grave Sand. That's what it was called. Soul Sand.
I'm not convinced.
You're not convinced?
Not convinced.
Chat, you haven't convinced him.
No.
Cite sources or get out.
Yeah. We want. I can't remember what it was.
So they're after the Amberbone, and then after the Amberbone, but then we know that there's a new incarnate coming out, and that incarnate has got is a spider or something. It's like a giant spider monster or something.
Oh.
That's the general story.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, not
No, not in there.
Not
just,
in there.
Just in the coffee shops.
In the coffee shops. The
Around
general rumours. The
the
general
city.
rumours. Yes.
Yeah.
General rumours.
The word on the street in the coffee shops.
In the coffee shops is
on the boulevards.
On the boulevards. On the boulevards.
Nottingham's got quite a few boulevards.
It does actually. It's got a lot of gates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it used to castle. It doesn't matter. That's not important. Okay, so a big monster. Does it mention the big monster in there or no?
No, I mean it does talk a lot about spiders. It does mention some beasts that are made up of like bones and stuff that are just like, so that could be like the old incarnate.
Okay.
So there is a mention about that somewhere in there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then is there any other story to it?
Oh yeah, and then there's a thing about all spiders.
Oh.
Loads of spiders. There's a specific thing about spiders.
I think that means that there's got to be. What are they taking over?
They're just like everybody's dead scared of spiders.
Everyone's dead scared of spiders.
In the underground thing, like everybody's scared of spiders.
Even the spider fangrots?
No, they're the ones that are riding on the spiders.
So new spiders.
Well, it doesn't say they're new. It just specifically talks about spiders.
Okay, so unfortunately, because we know the new Gloomspite Gits book is coming out, and I know you're excited.
Yes.
But the oracles, you know who the oracles are?
Yeah.
You know the oracles?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
roughly.
Yeah.
So the oracles, to let everyone in the joke at home, are all the playtesters and people who've got advanced copies of books.
Yeah.
And they're all currently, as Dom says in the chat, one of your Gits pros.
Oh, yeah, fellow Gits man with a big medal.
Yeah, all the oracles aren't currently buying spiders.
No.
They've read the prophecies.
Yeah.
And then it's all mangler squigs, apparently.
Well, yeah. Although there was lots of good boxes with mangler squids and so.
Yeah, the Squigalanche. It was true. I think they were buying them before the Squigalanche.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
I think is the current story. Legendary, truly legendary. I don't know what they're talking about in the chat, but I'm glad. Okay, so then they talked about loads of spiders, and then anything else happening?
They mentioned the Dawnbringers as well.
Oh, the Dawnbringer Crusade.
That sort of stuff. There was some mention more, like, oh yeah, that's right, there I can see the word cogsmith. There was quite a nice story with cogsmiths as well. Well, not a story, it was just a thing. But that seems to be like, they're pushing the old cogsmith along.
Because the current rumours are that they're going to get rid of some of the old world stuff. When old world comes out, they're going to basically get rid of a bunch of old world stuff. But the current coffee shop rumour is that they keep the Dwarden.
Yeah.
So they keep the dispossessed. Cool. So if they're talking about cogsmiths and stuff, that makes sense. I imagine there wasn't a lot of chat about Wild Rider riders and stuff.
I don't remember that, no. They mentioned the Gloomspite Gits and some corn stuff and some other chaos stuff.
Okay, all right, well, good summary. In fact, actually, there's a lot of your lore videos. Do you know about the lore videos that do Age of Sigmar?
No.
That was probably 10 times better than any of those videos.
Oh wait, the ones with on the graph paper.
No, you mean Age of something?
Yeah.
He does do lore videos.
Yeah, those were lore videos.
Those are good lore videos.
Yeah,
he's my favourite.
Great.
He's Australian. He's really good.
So what lore videos are you talking about? On which? Who does them?
Don't make me out them. I just said they were boring. You can't then make me say who they are. Right, okay, all right. So we've done. So we've covered the story, and the story is that everyone's still underground and it's full of spiders.
Tunnel fighting.
Okay, so let's go through the top the headline stuff. Let's talk about the rules. So there's we'll skip down. Now this is just you and me have read most of it. If you really need to know the detail of it, then go watch the review video I made on YouTube. Because that gives you everything in detail. This is more of a chat show where we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Is it not a chat show?
Well, yeah.
What do you want it to be?
No, it's the chat show.
We don't have to chat about it.
It's just funny.
Do you want to silently read it?
No, it's fine.
Fine.
Thanks.
Okay. So the special rules are... So I've had my say on this, but I want to know what your thoughts are first. So Galician champions, you can't be targeted by shooting.
Yeah.
But then there's also a battalion, if you're near a battle line unit, and then there's a battalion...
Yeah, it's quite close to a battle line unit. Don't you have
3 inches.
An inch.
Oh, an inch. Yes, an inch. You've got to be within an inch.
Yeah.
So that's significant. And then there's a battalion that stops
And it's got to be battle line as well.
And it does have to be battle line.
Does it have to be infantry battle line? Or
No, just battle line.
Regular old
It just says it right there. Battle line. Friendly
it says
battle
it
line
on the
units.
screen.
So that's quite nice for some armies. So what was your like what since you've read this, what's been ticking through your brain? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they've been targetable before, and I've had loads of those dudes in my armies. And other do they often get targeted? Because normally you've got to like fucking sort out the stuff that's right in your face, and those lads are at the back doing support stuff. So unless you've got surplus of ranged damage, then those guys normally just get left alone anyway.
I think it depends. Like, so your point is like, do the support champions get attacked? And I guess like it really depends on like how much they scale your army. For instance, if you can take out a war chant at turn 1 before,
then
then you're going to do that.
Yeah, and whenever I played against Skaven, I always try and find the bloke with that bloody spell and get rid of him.
Exactly. If you could get rid of Croak, if you could get rid of any of those kind of like some really scale an army, like a necromancer in an army. If you can get rid of that, it will stop a unit piling and attacking twice. It's pretty good. So like some units like significant.
Well, yeah, and they've made them targets now because they do other stuff with scoring.
Yeah. Well, okay, so like, but I agree with you. Like my initial thoughts were, I already have those characters anyway because I was playing Tzeentch, you're playing Gitz, right?
Yeah.
Like they're already going to target my characters. So am I any worse off? Like I don't think so because like if anything, I'm better off because you probably aren't taking that bounty hunter battalion. You're probably still being a 1-drop if you can be.
Yeah.
And for like.
Well, yeah. I mean, if people really want to target them and then take that thing, but then most of the time those little characters get targeted with spells and abilities rather than actual shooting.
It's true. It's true. Normally you're killing the thing on the front line, right? Like that's the thing you're killing.
Yeah, there's a few things I guess that are snipers where they go for them, but yeah, most of the time it's.
And I think in some armies, like if you lose your character, you don't really necessarily care. Like you care if you lose Teclis, but you don't care if you lose the Caliphate. I mean, obviously you care if you lose the Caliphate, but like not as much as if you lost Teclis.
No, but then and armies that do care about it, like the War Chanters, they obviously hide them a lot better and look after them.
And there'd be a 1-drop anyway, so you're already rolling off.
Yeah, and then they just put an army in your face, and then you're like too busy dealing with
before you get the champion.
Loads of orcs before you, and then by then the War Chanter's out of range anyway. And
I think the combo with the battalion kind of makes it interesting because you ask yourself, are you going to take any battalions to try and deal with them? And then you immediately skip to because there's several like levers and kind of like Venn diagram stuff that's all happening. But because do I want to deal with the champions? Okay, what do they actually do for the army? In some cases, like a war chanter, they scale an army.
Yeah.
But in the other cases, mainly what they're doing is providing some sort of buff. But in this battle pack, you've got the 5 missions where they're important for scoring extra points, and then the 4 battle tactics. But you can skip the battle tactics if you've got good battle tactics.
Yeah, in your book, and then there's enough other ones as well to make up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, some books obviously they're going to need to. They're not going to be able to do ones out their book most of the time.
It's kind of an interesting convo because you end up with like the haves and have-nots, and then the haves are just like, cool, I basically don't have to play this version of the game.
Yeah.
And then the have-nots are like, I have to play this version of the game, but the have-nots are probably not going to be speccing for that. Like the haves, are probably not going to be speccing their armies for the have-nots. And I really think that they've tried really hard, maybe, I don't know if it's really hard, but they've tried hard to build something. Yeah. But I think if you can just build a smashing army, you probably don't give a fuck about the other elements of what this is.
Yeah, but then, I guess that's been the same with most of the editions anyway.
It's kind of what I like.
If you just go and stuff them up then and prevent them scoring primaries, then
you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also it's also on the battle pack as well, right? So like if I'm doing a tournament here, then I've got 5 missions to choose. Am I going to choose all of the 5 Galician champion ones? And if I am, then maybe Galician champions becomes more important.
Yeah.
But if I'm only choosing 2 or 3, are most of them going to like not really care. Do you know what I mean? It's probably an army by army basis, but I think that this is kind of okay, but it doesn't really matter in the kind of grand scheme of things, unless your army's rubbish and has bad book tactics, and in which case it's very important.
Then it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah,
You're screwed from the beginning. It's gonna be interesting to play it and to see how important those champions are. I mean, they are quite restricted as well by the being within an inch thing, and it's battle line, so that's quite a restriction. They've got, like, a lot of the time they'll get separated unless you end up with a specific little unit that just trails them around, just being a shield. But then that seems like a lot of investment just for that. And then a lot of, I don't know, shooting isn't that big a thing at the moment, like, is it?
See, the thing is, I think shooting will generally tick up. Yeah. Just because, like, it's kind of been put, like, mentally in your brain. Okay, let's talk about the big... We'll carry this conversation in a minute. Let's talk about the biggest change in the GHB.
Yeah.
No bounty hunters.
Yeah.
No expert conquerors.
Great.
So that's the biggest change.
Yeah,
like, you were playing Gits, I was playing Horrors. Now you're doing half as much damage.
Yeah, those big units are going to stay around for a long time.
They're going to be a lot better, right?
Horrors, squig herds.
Oh my god, squig herds triggered.
Just dudes.
Yeah. Like, so that's the biggest change from the GHB.
Yeah.
And I think a welcome one, because ultimately you could always put the points up on all those problem units if there's, if you put too many squig herd down. If you put not that you can ever put too many down, Nathan, obviously. Sorry.
People have tried to put them down.
I tried. I failed massively.
It just get back up again.
Yeah. Squig herd with fight on death seems decent. We'll definitely talk about that in a minute. We'll come to that, because the combat stuff has gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think Phoenix Guard stonks have gone through the roof because because they don't want to really pile in too much. But the bounty hunters going away is probably the meta change we need.
Yeah.
Before we do anything else.
Yeah. It's a big change. You'll see a lot of armies change. You're going to see a lot more infantry now, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. I think you'll see a lot more infantry.
Yeah, just slogging into the objectives and just objective denial again.
Absolutely. Yeah, like holding those objectives. And some there's been some bonuses, like Stormcast when they count as 2 is like a thing again now.
Yeah.
I think there's a Lumineth one where you count as 2 as well is going to be a thing. So
the ogre ones. Yeah.
Ogres. Yeah. Ogres is a great example for them being able to hold objectives better. But then Ogres is one of those armies where it's quite interesting that they have they don't have rubbish Galician veterans, but those Galician veterans, when you read the 5 battle plans for Galician veterans, you have to be yeeting those Galician veterans up the board to get onto like all of these special things.
The champions,
champions, sorry, Galician champions, sorry. I'm going to keep doing that for ages.
All the while.
Yeah,
for the next 6 months.
Yeah, next 6 months. Like, Galician veterans, you mean champions, dickhead. But I'm going to be yeeting on them all the objectives. And it's actually quite challenging because they're slow, because they're on foot.
Yeah.
Like, there are those enhancements you can do for the teleports and stuff. But, like, it's kind of it's very interesting because I think ultimately there's loads to think about.
I mean, ogres have got some of the fastest ones on foot because they also get the hungry thing, don't they? So they'll be movement 8 or whatever, and they've got the infantry screens to do the same thing. So they're quite quick. But, they'll be happy.
Yeah, they're going to be very fast. But I mean, I like the bounty hunter change. I like the bounty hunters. It's gone away.
I like that battalion's gone. Definitely the hunters.
Yeah. Is it just like the mysterious unmatched conquerors you kept mentioning last GHB? Yes. Is it because it's not that, is it? It's expert conquerors or whatever it was. Yeah. But I kept calling it this different thing every time. Yeah. My name was better. That's why I used it
all the time.
I renamed it. Yeah.
Nobody else did.
There is a great conversation being had about book tactics. We'll cycle back to in a minute because I think that's kind of an interesting one. All right, so bounty hunt's going away. Excellent. Changes up the game. New infantry. Expert conquerors being gone. Kind of interesting as well because there were some really great units like those 5 teleporting whatever.
Yeah.
That would go grab an objective, which now don't count as 15. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
That they're gone. But yeah, I think overall it's a good change for some armies because their army was weaker just because of a seasonal rule. and that felt pretty rubbish.
Yeah.
Also, they will have balanced off that, which is wild. They'll have done points balances based off
of those veteran guys. Yeah.
off of the veterans, off the bounty hunters existing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. But also on the conquerors existing. So I've been like, oh, these guys count as loads on objectives.
Yeah. Or there's loads of these in the list, but it just might be they're really good in conquerors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got the version without the content creator watermark on it? No, we don't. I mean, we do. I mean, I've edited every single one of these as a graphic, but this is easier for now.
You've added that to all of the graphics that you had, that content creator.
Oh yeah, slapped it over the top. I made all the nice graphics. I was like, content creator right over the top of it. That wasn't even originally there when I got sent it. I put that on.
Yeah, exactly,
I was like, I want because people do that, don't they? When they make GHB stuff.
Next week it's going to be yellow. We're going to do all of them. All the colours.
But in the chat says, I'm making up my own Gits battle tactics. Like, if I steal your pants without you noticing, I score my battle tactic.
Oh, that's a given.
That's a given. That's actually a universal battle tactic, I think. So, all right, let's talk about the battle tactics thing, because that's kind of what the chat are talking about. Last GHB, so at my events at the arena, I banned book tactics.
Yeah.
So you couldn't use book tactics, and the reason is because there's a disparity. Some armies, although that'll be solved, and I will compliment Games Workshop, at the start of that GHB, like 25-30% of the armies didn't have book tactics.
Yeah.
So it's not an even playing field. So let's get to a point where we've got an even playing field, right? And now we've got Gits coming out, which I think is the only army left that doesn't have
the last one. Yeah.
The last one. So that's fine. So then everyone will have them.
Have Beasts of Chaos got them.
Yeah. But the problem is they're not the same. Like Ironjaws have got one.
Yeah, if you play
tactic.
pure Ironjaws, there's one that's specifically for them, and then maybe one generalized one, but like one that you'll never do.
So like two versus Zinch, who's got like probably three that you could do fairly easy. I think the Ogre ones are pretty simple as well. So like you've definitely got that problem between like earlier edition, because this happens a lot with Games Workshop products. You have like earlier edition. They did the same thing in 40k. The early codexes or the early books didn't have the same like impact in their book strategies that they used to, or secondaries is what they called them. Their book secondaries. So we're in this weird place where the book tactics aren't equal. And also some armies just don't have as many as the others. Yet, because of the Galician Champions thing, it kind of feels like... So let me give you the couple of options, and you choose what you would go for. You've got absolutely everything's in. Just go for it. Yeah. Try and steal your underpants. Bit of Budtastic. That might have swayed you. So I'll allow stealing people's underpants in every option, just so it doesn't... Right, okay. You allow everything in. Yeah. You don't allow book tactics and grand strategies. Because the grand strategies in this, like this version, like they still got Take What's Mine, which is probably what you've taken. It was taken like 24% of the time last season. So you don't allow those in, or like, so you don't allow book tactics in. At which point Gargants, not that I give a shit, but Gargants can then only do like 4 book tactics or something. Oh, sorry, 4 tactics from the main thing, because they haven't got Galician Champions. So then they can only do that. So those are your kind of 2 roads, where book tactics or no book tactics. Have you got thoughts as to like what you would want?
Oh, if you're going to a tournament and you'd like to say it to the dude.
And what does the chat think? What do people listening at home think?
I have to see how easy the Gits ones are.
That is the correct answer.
It still makes you lean to doing the no books ones, just because there is the disparity. Unless, I mean, I've not gone to the level of going through them and saying, oh, the ones that have got shit book tactics, they can do all of the other ones really well, because they're just like bosses of doing general stuff. And then the ones that have got the really easy book tactics, they're like, oh, I can't do any of the normal stuff that normal people do. I'm a special fella. I need to do special ones.
Correct.
So I've not looked at that. So if somebody looks at that and tells me if that's the case, then that'd be grand. Then maybe you can go for book tactics. Otherwise, nah.
Yeah, I would be very tempted to say no
No.
book tactics still.
Still.
And then I would even maybe say that if you're going to play, like, you would play just mainly Galician champion missions, right? The reason is then you've got, like, you kind of really, like, listen, if they've got, like, they gave us 12 missions, but, like, it's 6 old missions, so they gave us 6 missions, right?
Yeah.
Just make 4 out of 5 of them be Galician champion missions, and then just rock them through.
So proper pushing the Galician veteran thing.
Oh, sorry, champion, fuck. The Galician.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, proper push the Galician champion thing.
Yeah.
And then just go for it. Because, like, the thing you always want to be conscious of is, like, well, I want to be conscious of as a TO, is I want to be like, what do I put in the pack that helps my players have more fun?
Yeah.
Right? And I think book tactics are kind of fun and then also counter fun. When you're doing them, you're like, this is easy. Like, you're having fun.
Yeah.
But your opponent's like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite hard to...
Yeah, that's the other problem with book tactics is that you know less of what the books can do. Like, as a player, so your opponent will quite often say, I'm going to do this, and then you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's only, I guess not many people think that far ahead to try and prevent your opponent. Sometimes I've actually thought that far ahead.
Nice.
Yeah,
How would that feel?
It was rubbish.
What about you can only do 2 from your book? All right, let's look at a current example of where this has also existed. So in 40k, what they did is they did the same thing as Age of Sigmar. They had like 3 secondaries, and in 40k the way it works is there's a primary like in Age of Sigmar, or like War Machine, which is all we're really playing, but it doesn't matter. Thanks, Mo. All right, so you got the hold in the primary, and then they've got secondaries, and their secondaries are done at like the start. Well, they're all scored at different times, but your secondaries were worth half the points, and the battle tactics in Age of Sigmar are about half the points. If you get like hold 1, hold 2, hold more, then obviously you score 15 on primary, and you can only score 10 on book tactics.
Yeah.
So technically 2/3 versus like 50-50. But in 40k, what they did was they released each codex, and they had all of these secondaries, and then eventually they were like, these are wildly unbalanced. Yeah. And then they just put them all into a new GHB where they put all of them in there. They were like, all the ones in your books no longer count.
Oh, okay. And then they just gave...
And they gave everyone some new ones in a GHB sort of thing, so chapter approved.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of a weird way that they did it. But the reason that it all happened, the reason they changed it all, was because, like, people like Goonhammer, for example, and StatCheck, which are really big, they're kind of like what I do for 40k. So, like, they look at the stats, they look at the data, like, thanks to Ziggy and Rob, like, you look at that information and you think, wow, okay, this one was taken a lot. But in 40k, because the way they score, they usually use an app, they could even see how many points each one of those secondaries scored, because a secondary would count for like 15 points. So they would, like, book tactics, like the Space Marine one, would roughly get about 12 points on average in each game where it was played, up to a maximum of 15. So they were like, it's quite clear that this one is much better than these others to achieve, and all of the book ones were stronger and easier to achieve than the core central ones.
Yeah.
And so they were like, so they nerfed them basically.
So they just banned book tactics and
effectively Games Workshop deleted book tactics and then started some more book tactics. So I think there's a really good conversation for like no book tactics. But I guess a kind of side note, Nath, is that they've obviously now doing the Warhammer World Championships. I assume your event pack will have to say, like, there's no like restriction yet, but I'm sure your event pack will say that you have to use all of the current rules of the game, etc., etc. So there's a conversation around that. I think TOs now, because of that, will be less likely to move away, less likely to be a part of, less likely to use comp. Is my point.
Yeah.
I think it's very likely that won't happen. And they're still crazy unbalanced. There's Shadow Sun in the chat talking about the 40k tactics. So but anyway, yeah. So my first event I'm running, says Speckles. I'm allowing 2 book tactics and 3 from the GHB. So you have to choose 2 from your book and 3 from the GHB. But I mean, one of them.
Or can you do 4 and 1?
What you mean, 1 from your book?
Yeah, is it up to a maximum of 2 from the book and then? What's he done? What's he done? Come on, Speckles. Is it
Thanks, Drew Barry. It's a maximum
maximum
of 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
up to 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because some people will still struggle to, like the Iron Jaws will probably still struggle to do their book tactics.
Yeah.
But they're probably quite strong on the
primary?
core ones, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the core ones, yeah. They'll be able to do the swing one is the general one because there are 4.
Yeah. Well, their generals can.
Yeah, Iron Jaws have got a really great general, but a lot of people have got like a Master of Magic Lord Relictor, and he's unlikely to kill an enemy unit roughly. So I think that's the one. I quite like Speckles' idea, which is honestly 2023 already confusing the hell out of me.
Oh man.
So yeah, interesting. So I think that's going to be a conversation between events and TOs, and also the stats and win rates and armies that could do well could be really focused on just armies that can definitely achieve like battle tactics, and then like we talked about, probably the primary, like just because you can do so much with the primary now.
Yeah, I think people have to try and I think because the hunters have gone away. The bounty hunters have gone away. You'll probably see primaries. Will we? I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see how much people will now try and deny primaries to other people. I guess they did before.
Who?
I don't know.
What?
Yeah, in tournament play, if people were denying primaries.
Well, it's especially hard in a tournament where you don't understand what the opponent's book tactics can be. So you just go to grab the primary and just move on.
It's real hard.
I think a lot of people just play for max points.
I mean, that's what Gargants normally do, is deny primaries, don't they?
They did.
The Suns.
Yeah, they're struggling a lot in this version of the GHP. Or maybe since their new book, they're doing pretty bad.
Oh.
Yeah. But we'll see.
It's tough at the top.
It's at the bottom. Agreed. All right. So then the next bit to talk about. So okay. So there's the shooting part, and then there's the tactics.
Yeah.
Right. And we've kind of covered that a little bit. The shooting part. I'm doing a video at the minute, like the top 10 shooters of the Mortal Realms.
Oh yeah.
Guess it. What do you reckon number 1 is? Try and guess number 10 and number 1.
The top shooters. The top shooters.
So shooters. That you would put into sharpshooters. Top 1 and then the 10th.
What's the most scariest shooter? It's probably the snakes with the bows and arrows. The daughters of Cain snakes. Sisters of
number 2.
Dead.
Number
Slaughter.
2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Try and guess the 10th place.
The 10th place. That's Auric Hearthguard.
They didn't even make it. They didn't even make it the fucking list, Nate. It was crossbows.
Crossbows? What? The Nighthawk ones? Dude, I've never even seen those in anger.
Dude, they went down like 25 or 35 points.
Oh.
You can now get 5 of them. Yeah,
to be fair.
5 of them. 90 points for 5.
Yeah.
They got 2 shots. They can shoot you if you can't, even if they can't see you.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then they've got
arrows.
And then they've got a 4-up armor save, so you get 10 wounds.
Yeah.
For 90 points that can just pop out shots.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's great. Yeah.
Cool.
Like, and they also rally on a 5+ on their war scroll.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really interesting.
Skinks. Skinks is number 1, is it?
No, it's not number 1.
Oh no.
Sorry.
What is it?
Skinks actually didn't make it in the list. Well, hold on, because I know you're right. They should have. I just was like, look, I'm putting camo skinks in. Yeah, I was like, this should be skinks, not camo skinks. But I was like, I just don't want to talk about them. So they're not in here. Yeah. They range 12 inches, though. But they also move 5 inches. So that's 17 effective range.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can put them in the underworlds. And you can pop them up. You can be like...
in the grave.
Yeah, or you can take Alrak the Drowner. The guy in the boat, the ghost boat.
Yeah.
Take 15. Teleport them across the board.
Behind a tree.
Yeah.
Shoot something.
Right, okay. So you can fix...
So which was number 1?
Oh, watch the video and find out. Okay, right, anyway. So...
When's the video coming out?
As soon as I can record it, man. Actually. There's only one minute.
What are we doing?
I've written the script.
I've written the
script.
Talking about the arrows.
Oh, God. It's coming, okay? Right.
Is it arrows or bullets?
It's... I'm not telling you. You're just gonna have to watch the video. I'm never telling you.
Is it hand grenades? Is it hobgrots?
It's hobgrots. It's hobgrots. It was always hobgrots.
Hand grenades. Hand grenades.
Okay, so so the shooter part we talked about, and we'll talk more about the tactics part in a bit. But the book tactics is gonna have to be a real conversation.
Have they got telescopic sights?
Then we need to talk about the heroic actions, right?
Yeah.
So if you go second in a turn, you get a desperate action. You can do 2 heroic actions.
Yeah.
So if you go second, and then the important note is you can only do that in your hero phase. Is go twice. If you're taking the second turn in the current battle round at the start of your hero phase, so you can't do.
So start of the second turn, you get to do 2. You don't get to do 2 in your opponent's turn who went first.
Perfect.
Because they went first.
Exactly, because they went first for them. And then you've got 2 heroic actions.
Oh, you made them go first.
Which is what you're likely to do, because you're going to be a 1-drop, right?
Yeah. Force them to go first.
You must go first.
Oh, no.
Although the rumours are, next GHB, it's a roll-off for first turn. What would you think about that?
I'd be alright with that.
Because you only ever play like 37 drops. You've never played a 1-drop in your life.
I like I like it.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's the same as all the other turns, so why is the first turn so special?
That's true.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but it just gives you a significant step up.
Good.
Good.
And make the other people have a little bit of squeaky bum time for a change. Instead of just doing things to my bum every time.
Just writing the most things, just hoping. Just like, oh no. Yeah, I think it's actually a good shout. I prefer a roll off. Anyway, okay, so you go second, and then a couple of things. You can strike at the opening, which means you can fight in the hero phase, and then if you did fight in the hero phase, you could lead by example. So your swarm bodyguard unit could do it. What's really funny is you got read this, and you're like, who the fuck are swarm bodyguards? So then you have to scroll down
and find the battalion.
Yeah. So and that is your dude, your Galician champ, and then infantry. They've got to be 4 wounds or less on the characteristic. And then you got to take this Galician command. And so if you do that, you can fight both of those 2 in the hero phase.
Yeah.
And also
in the combat phase, they can fight together as well.
They can fight at the same time in the combat phase.
Because
they're in the battalion.
But you're only limited to one of those per army.
I mean, I think you're going to see probably none of these. Maybe you'll see like an anointed of Assyrian with like 30 Phoenix Guard, which is kind of horrific.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if you're not going to go for a low drop, then you may as well wang one of those in. I'm going to have one of them in.
Yeah, but you're like 17 drops.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So there are other people. There are other people that have more than.
Bro, your army's got a 30% or 38% win rate. I don't care. It's not getting sued though. Yeah. You're right. I think some armies are going to take it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it'll change the course of the game that much.
Oh, so it could do. So like, I think the problem is it's situational, right? Like Desert Sketch put in the chat. If you've got a unit of 15 chosen, which you can do, it's a 750 point unit. You can fight in the hero phase, and then you can fight in the combat phase with this insane unit, right?
But that insane unit would have killed whatever it was in combat with the turn before. So fighting in the hero phase isn't that big a thing.
You're right, because
so the other thing is that it fights at the same time as the boss does. But I mean, the bosses are normally crap anyway. So
it's true, especially the on foot bosses.
It's not like I can't see it being that massive a thing, that battalion and those.
What I think is
I get the hero phase will be quite interesting in specific cases, but I think most of the time it won't be that much of a thing.
Yeah, I don't think even people will take the battalion. Yeah. Like most of the time. Like if you can, you
can take it.
You can take it, fine. You take what I'm not stopping you taking it. Like me saying I'm not going to take it. Like my point is like I think so many things have to happen for you to.
Oh yeah.
Like,
it's
Yeah, so you take the battalion initially.
Yeah.
So then you're planning to make it happen.
Yeah.
Then you got to go second.
Yeah.
So you're planning for that as well somehow, and then you've got.
No, you don't plan. Just let the bad moon happen it to you. That's what it'll happen at. Like, once you've had enough of the mushrooms, it'll all come together.
It'll all come together. Okay, I'm in. Like some of the armies are quite interesting. Yeah. Like for instance, you now could maybe play Iron Sun's Iron Jaws, so you could charge in your opponent's turn, and then you'll probably beat them up anyway. But like you'll be amongst their army.
Yeah. It has to be infantry as well, doesn't it? Yeah, because the Bloodtooths would probably like it more. But
Yeah, but it has to be.
It
has to be infantry.
They're rubbish at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe the Iron Sons. Like they're still within 3, so it could be you go into a screen and then hope that you win the priority, and you're still within 3 of the thing that was behind the screen.
Absolutely.
And then you can pile in, duff that up a bit, and then you've cleared that, and then you can run off and go and do something else.
I think what I like about this is that it feels situational until the guy or girl or whoever like builds the list intentionally with the idea of I'm going to try and make this happen as much as possible, and then it does really uptick the power. You're fighting with a unit that doesn't normally get to fight twice, which is like strong.
Well, and no, it's a heroic action, so it's at the beginning of the hero phase. I was going to say because there's a few people that can charge in the hero phase, but. No.
Good example. Desert Sketcher said Nurgle. I love the idea of Blight Kings now. They're now no longer suffering from bounty hunters, and there's a command ability in the Realm command gives you +1 attack. You're not gonna you don't care about piling in with fucking Blight Kings pretty much.
Yeah.
And then also you're probably going to be in a fight with them and maybe like a Lord of whatever next to them. So they're pretty scary maybe. Like Fire Slayers maybe. Chosen's a good example.
Like Brutes and a War Boss on foot could be interesting.
There's going to be some really great versions, but I don't know if it gets beat by the already existing 1-drop. I give you the first turn and smash you up. We'll see. All right. So it's kind of interesting. And then I guess we'll talk about all the core battalions. So Galician Command, you might take. You're not going to replace the 1-drop. Maybe, maybe not. Sharpshooters. I think people will just not take sharpshooters.
Yeah, I doubt it'll be that common.
But I was thinking about this earlier. Like Marathi and the Bow Snakes is a good example, right? So normally it's Marathi, Ameliasai, it's 15 Bow Snakes, and then it's like Witches, and then it's like 2 units of Heart Renders. So the Heart Renders and the Bow Snakes, because you have to take 3 units in the Sharpshooters.
Okay, yeah. They could all be...
They can all be in the Sharpshooters. And you don't really care about the Harpies being in there, but obviously the Bow Snakes being in there is huge.
Yeah.
So they're but then
then the Harpies can drop down and try and...
Of course.
Yeah, snipe out a thing.
So while the already existing Marathi and the Bow Snakes build, which didn't change, Marathi went up a few points, didn't change, are you going to take a 1-drop or...
yeah, they're going to... I think the 1-drop is still stronger than the Sharpshooter version.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you see everybody just attacking the other scenarios and just playing with Galician veteran ones, and then Galician champion scenarios, and then if the champions become like the thing that starts deciding a load of games, then you might see more sharpshooters, but I can't see it at the moment.
I can't see it. No. Also, I know you don't care often, but honestly, legit.
Very uncaring fella.
Yeah, no, you care a lot, but I mean, you won't care. You probably won't care about the answer to this.
Okay.
But do you not think the missions are important to know ahead of time? A little bit at least. If I was to run a 2-day event and it was, I would say, listen, it's all 5 Galician champion missions, and you'd be like, oh, okay,
I think
versus none.
Yeah, I think if somebody's gone that polarized, decides to put all 5, and then it would be a good idea to know it in. But if there's a smattering, and there's going to be a smattering of this, and some of them won't, then I don't suppose it matters exactly.
So follow-up. Sorry, I walked a lot of stairs today, and I'm real tired. I did physical labour with Nathan today for the first time, and I'm dying. But the thing is if there's only a smattering, and I think most tournament organisers are going to have a smattering, right?
Yeah.
If that's true, champions aren't important, which means sharpshooters aren't important, right? So it's kind of like a cascading effect of you ignore a lot of this, which is why I think knowing those ahead of time, if it was a champions event, then I'd be like, fuck it, let's go do some sharpshooting stuff. But if it's hey, it's going to be a mix of things, I just drop this straight away. I'll just deal with it as I get there.
Yeah.
I think, and I think that's going to be the pretty big bit. The other bit is Galician Vets is back, or so in the last. Well, I mean, they've never gone to me.
Yeah, they were all veterans.
They're all
but
veterans
now
to me.
only a specific number can be, but then they'd have to go in a battalion. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree.
I think So.
And then that increases your drops, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Minimum of 2, maximum of 4.
Yeah.
And then and this feels like something that works really well for gits or zombies or like something where you have a lot of bodies on the board, and being able to. So you fight with him.
Well, yeah, with gits it wasn't that much of a thing because the main people. So all the trogs were 2-inch reach anyway, so they could fight over each other, and then all the other, like the squig herd and the gits, were all 25 mil, so they could fight over each other. So it's mainly like fire slayers, I guess. Have they got 2-inch reach anyway?
I don't know if they do. Like I know they gave thralls 2-inch reach.
So dudes are on 32 mils that have only got 1-inch reach. So Nighthorn.
Nighthorn, yeah, Nighthorn actually.
Maybe.
That might be really good. Yeah, 2 inches on Hearthguard. Thank you, Bog Wellis. Yeah, there might be like specific units where, and also I feel like Nighthorn are going to do really well in this edition because previously, so they were doing very well when they did double excruciator, so -2 damage. Then they've obviously nerfed it so you can only have 1, but they've taken bounty hunters away, so they're back to if you've got damage 2.
Oh yeah, they're having a great time.
They're having a great time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I mean, because most of them were Galician veterans anyway, so they were getting bounty hunted off of the.
Yeah, Nighthorn stonks are hugely up at the moment.
So they love it, and they've got loads of the champions as well.
They do. Yeah, they do. I think it's really nice it's in here, but like I said in my video, I just think this should just be FAQ to be a core rule.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they'll benefit. So they'll be looking at taking that battalion, so it might affect them from taking 1 drops. But then they might go down to 3 drops, like put their 2 outputty units in there, and then everything else into 1 drop.
Yeah.
Or.
I think if you're an army that benefits from this, you don't really care about being a 1 drop. But like maybe that's just me like not thinking about it. But like I would say that it's good it's in there, but I would really like to just see this probably being a core rule. Like you can just say infantry units get bonds of battle end convo, especially when you've got armies that are like our dragons have got 3-inch coherency.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like it's a lot to add. Anyway, so those are all the battalions. I like that it's in there though. That's important. I like that it's in there.
Very coherent dragons.
Have you got any thoughts about any of them that we didn't cover?
No, I think you've got all of my thoughts now.
Okay, glad. I'm glad. All right, so this is the bit I said this already, but like Realm Sphere Magic Realm Command. We've touched on Realm Command, and it's part of the convo, so we'll do this anyway. This is the Realm Command, no retreat, no surrender, and then you can basically don't pile in. You get +1 attacks to all your melee profiles.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts, and it's you can just command it at the start of the combat phase.
Yeah.
This is silly, and I was it's quite interesting because this obviously competes with +1 to hit from all-out attack.
Yeah,
because it both happened in the combat phase, and then I was speaking to my friend Daniil, and he was telling me basically whichever number you've got is higher, that's the one that you change, or like not as good. So if you got like 4 attacks that hit on 3s, then you give them +1 to hit. But if you've got like 3 attacks that hit on 4s, then you give them +1. Sorry, you give them +1 attack or something. I can't remember which way around it was. There was some.
It's very important knowledge.
There was some. There was some math. There was some math. I can't remember which one it was. Right. 4 attack grass. Yeah. So this is going to be particularly interesting. This Realm Command, because I think this is maybe one of the biggest changes you see in here.
Yeah, it's pretty good, especially if you got a big charge in, so you can charge into where you want to fight from, and then you don't need to pile in. Then you just
if you get a massive charge. Yeah, like, and it's especially good on elite units, like with like big damage attacks. Like Iron Guts is a good example.
Yeah,
Iron Guts are going to get some real big stonks out of this. Chosen with +1 attack.
Yeah,
is pretty scary. Something that has a lot.
Yeah, they've got 2-inch reach anyway, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You also can't be on the charge. Thanks, Logan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not on the charge.
It's not on the charge. That's a good point. Well remembered. Yeah.
Did not charge in the same turn. Within 3.
So you're still in a
combat phase. Yeah. So again, I don't know if you'll see it that often. If you've done, I mean, if you get charged, and you don't get taken off, then you could do it.
Oh, what? So they charge you and then?
Yeah. I mean, if you charge somebody, you're wanting to take that thing off, aren't you?
Yeah. That's true.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think. I think that's a good caveat they put in though.
Yeah.
Like that's a
Did
nice
not
like
charge
balancing
thing.
effect.
Yeah. Because if you charge in, that would be a huge. Yeah. That is. Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that.
I actually really like that. I actually think that's like really conscious of how the game works. This bit isn't conscious of how the game works. This is conscious of how fucking lunatics work. The realm magic. Have you seen this dumb shit?
Yeah. That's Curse the Bad Moon.
But worse. You pick an
better.
objective within 12 inches.
Yeah.
It's only cast on a 6. And then every unit within 6 inches of that objective
On a 4-up.
on a 4-up D6 mortal wounds. First thing I saw online was if I put a model on an objective, as in the point on an objective, does that block line of sight to the objective?
Oh, that's interesting.
Is it, or is it mental?
It does block line of sight.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stand on it and block line of sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it has to be visible. I mean, yeah, I was thinking, I'll just screen it off with the spore splatters, but sod it, I'll just fucking put some fat dude on it and there. Can't see it.
I mean, so that might be the easy solution
Yeah.
to this whole problem. But yeah, the realm sphere magic.
Yeah.
But like, if you aren't able to get a dude stood in the middle of it, yeah,
Yeah.
what would you?
Oh yeah, if you're standing on it, you can easily block it, and then, or if you just stand in front of it, you can screen it out with things.
A spell portal will stop you screening some stuff out potentially. But yeah, like
Well, I mean, if you put the spell portal on it, you still can't see it, even if it's your spell portal.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you can't. But let's just ignore the kind of being able to see it for a moment conversation, and I'm pretty certain that works, right? You literally can't if you can't see it.
Yeah, you can't.
Because there's a model on it, you
Yeah.
can't do anything.
Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
perfect.
Yeah.
So we've solved this. Like okay, like so like that works. You see something which is under your base. No, sounds like a person who wrote it had their head.
I mean, you could cast it. You could probably, if you were the wizard standing on it, you could cast it on yourself, like through the ground at your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct. Yeah. I quite like that. I quite like that. Everyone's like. Oh,
They
sorry.
all charge in to come and get it, and you're like,
Just kicking rocks. There's just a dude stood on the objective just kicking rocks. But if you don't have a dude on it, right, that does mean that you can't tow it into the objective and have to stand in the middle to block the line of sight.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But ignore that. I think this is dumb. Because I was like, okay, Nath, tell me, would you cast this spell, ignoring the ability to see it, yeah? If it was every unit within 6 inches on a 5-up takes D3 mortal wounds, would you be likely to cast it?
Maybe. I mean, I did used to cast a similar spell. Like I said, Curse the Bad Moon. I used to love casting it, but rolling the 4-up is actually quite hard. So rolling a 5-up is even harder.
Well, so I pay 60 points in my Zinch list for an endless spell, which after the first turn you can get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is on a 4+. You take D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
And then if I kill something, I get a spawn, and that's like 60 or 70 points.
But it's the spawn thing that is just very
Yeah,
nice.
no, yeah, I agree with you. It's really, really good. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
And what's the range of that one? 12 as well. So
9 inches.
9. Oh.
So it's longer than this, but I just think that this is dumb.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be a fat guy. Just a dude with shoes on.
Does he even need shoes?
Yeah. So that otherwise you can see it between his toes.
Oh, you can see between his toes. You
Fire
see the point.
Slayers can't do it.
Fire Slayers, no chance.
No. Yeah.
Right.
Anything can do it. Even a little.
Compared to Mork's Mighty Mushroom, how good is this spell? Nath.
0.
It's not a giant mushroom, so what a stupid question.
Monk's Mighty Mushroom doesn't have to see things.
It doesn't have to see anything. Yeah, I just think this is dumb to have in the game. Like, you don't need it. It doesn't do anything. There's no weak army that's like, thank God, my AoE Mortal Wound spell. There's just tech lists like, yes, another one. Like, this just makes the armies that do this more offensive, and it doesn't benefit anyone else. This is like...
So you really hate that spell? I don't mind
I don't
it.
even think it needs to be in the game.
Because, like, some armies have got that spell anyway. Like, one of the cities spells is like that.
Well, they've got, like, Chain Lightning, which does it, like, through, like, characters and stuff.
I don't think they're that bad. It's that bad a spell, personally.
I think
it's quite a fun spell.
I think the problem is when you intentionally play... Like, is it going to come up situationally? probably a lot because you'll end up within range of an objective, I would say. But then follow up from that, can you spec into it?
Well, the wizard has to be 12 away, or else using a portal.
Yeah.
If they're that close, then you can...
A portal's not that close.
No, I mean, no, but the wizard, if the wizard's that close, then you can just duff them up next turn.
Yeah, I guess so. But like a good example would be Croak. Yeah, like you do Rain of Stars.
Duff them up.
You duff him up. But you do not Rain of Stars. Sorry, you do Comet's Call.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it all anyway. It doesn't like.
But this is worse. And what if you just spike the big 6, right? Like you just pop it on the objective, then you spike the big 6. You just take a War Chanter off, and they're like, you're like, did this need to be in the game?
For each on a 4+ that unit. D6.
D6 more
I thought it was D3.
No, it's D6.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If it was D3, then it'd be alright.
That's what I said.
No.
That's what I said. If it was D3, then I probably wouldn't have a convo about it. But because it's D6.
I forgot it was D6. I should read words more often. It's the fact that content creators are all over the page. I keep getting distracted.
Imagine how I feel.
They hadn't written that all everywhere.
Imagine how I feel. Yeah. Why do they write this?
What's the point of
on
that?
these downloadable PDFs made by Games Workshop, they've written content creator all over it. It's useless.
It's very distracting.
Games Workshop, if you're listening, stop writing this on our PDFs.
Yes, very distracting.
You're annoying us.
I keep missing important things like the D6 and the charge thing.
This is specifically Games Workshop's fault that we missed
Bastards.
that. Yeah. Right, okay, so we've done the battalions. I don't know, what's everyone else's chat think? I honestly think it's actually quite bad.
The fact that it's D6 is probably the nasty thing about it.
Talking about Stormcast as an example, like, but you could do the Comet, and then you could do that as a combo. You could do Comet's Call from Seraphon and that spell. Like, you got some real opportunity to do some like I think the reason they put it in there, they were like, oh, what if people aren't able to deal with champions? So if you're playing Chaos, if you're playing Saves of Darkness, then other than like a Mutated Vortex Beast and some terrible shooting, you don't really have a way of dealing with a champion. So I guess your idea is that you try and spike this.
The problem is that you've got to get a wizard within 12 the turn before, because it's done at the they can't move into range and do it. They've got to do it in a previous turn.
Yeah.
So it is still, there's still a bit of a rigmarole to go through. It's not like Comet's Call where you stand on the other side of the board and just start wanging comets around the place.
How about I do this? How about I do a fun little combo for you?
Yeah.
They're deployed all on their home objective.
Yeah.
Because you're like, and have you seen that battle plan where it's like you start 11 inches apart, and then there's like their home objective, your home objective, and then you can start 11 inches away from it, and that's from the center. So you actually start 5 inches from there. It's called.
What?
I'll show you. Hold
That's
on.
another one where the bloody purple writing has got me.
Hold on.
We should make it yellow.
I'll find it.
Just do it yellow next time.
Oh, hold on. It might honestly just be easier for me to do for my files versus actually.
Files.
Hold on. Let me go find it. Because it is a bit of a. It is insane, but it's effectively a scenario. I really want to tell you about this fun combo. Where is it? It's in here, and then it's not in there. God damn it,
No,
Rob.
not
Where
that
one. Not this terrible
What's
podcast.
that one there?
This is like old school. It's not that. It's not in that one.
That one.
It's not in that
No.
one. No, it's not. I don't know.
What are those
I know where it is.
pictures of?
This is all. Hold on, I'll find it for you. This. You're doing it. We're doing it, Nathan. We're finding it. Oh, it's not this one either.
No. Oh.
No,
Very
hold on.
nice.
It's
Yeah.
oh man. Okay.
Is that supposed to be like that?
No, right.
No,
Okay. I
okay.
don't know where it is. I've lost it. It's anyway. It doesn't
It's
matter.
probably lost down that whole thing there.
Yeah, it's that one.
No.
Yeah, it's not in any of these. Right, listen, stop it. The mega combo. I'm not telling you about the mega combo.
Oh.
The mega combo is
What about those?
Hold on, stop it. The mega combo is Mighty Destroyers.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Fasten.
Yeah.
Arcane Tome.
Yeah.
Cast the spell on their objective.
There we go.
There's the combo.
Everybody's got to be scared of that dude on that dude.
I mean, it's not a great combo,
No,
but you're charging over there anyway, so why not do it?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Hold on. I'm trying to find
Well,
this.
I
this
just stood
mission
on it
frame.
anyway, so.
Wish I'd have prepared more. This would have been great. I
it's-
mean, I have done all of these as like
Oh.
files, but I don't know where it's on my
I should have
computer.
written the content creator. And
I didn't write content creator on it. This wasn't me. Stop blaming
It's
me.
real distracting.
Yeah, Mighty Destroyers. Okay, I'm going to find the battle plan now. It's not called this one. This one's terrible.
That would be a great name for a scenario. This one.
This one. This battle plan.
This one. Let's play this one.
No, it's not. Is it? Wait, hold on. Is it Twist and Turns? Could be Twist and Turns. It's not that. It's not Twist and Turns. That's all where they vanish on the 3+. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. This is it. It's called Ours for the Taking.
Oh,
right. So look. So you deploy in your territory.
Shock horror.
No, but like, but not 9 inches away from the opponent.
No.
So just 11 inches apart from their home objective. But
Yeah.
obviously, it extends out 6 inches, so you're only 5 away. So if you wanted to, yeah, you can just absolutely yam or your whole army on one flank and just beat up their objective, or just put one wizard.
And just cast the spell. Yeah,
Just
because
cast
he's
the spell.
11 in there.
So they have to like. This one's the shit one is a great battle plan. Yeah, my Stonehorns love this battle plan. Of course they do. Just imagine that. It's rough. This is actually a really interesting one because like this is one of my favourite scenarios, I think. But yeah, casting the spell on that is.
What's it called again?
It's called Ours for the Taking.
Ours for the taking.
Ours for the Taking.
Taking of the ours.
And there are 3 objectives. So what do you think of that one? I like that one.
I'm gonna have to play it before I decide.
So I
if
played
I
the.
like it or not.
Yeah. So we're actually next Friday. We're doing like a GHB kind of like scrim session here in the arena.
Scrim.
So me and a couple of the guys are going to be playing Warhammer for the whole day, and then just giving our kind of first thoughts on how it all works. So check in for that when it happens, which is not.
I mean, that one where you were just now, you would be 9 away from it. From the centre one. Not that any of those lads would be on it. That's fine. Don't worry.
I know what you mean.
Blah, blah, blah.
I know what you
It's
mean.
that purple writing.
It's really stressing you out, isn't it? I don't know where the missions are. Right, okay, so Realm Spell Command ability we've talked about. Then have you seen that they've accidentally, like, they haven't updated the Purple Sun to the old GHB?
To the FAQ.
Yes.
Yeah,
To the
so
FAQ.
it's still the original.
Yeah.
Gone back to the original thing.
Exactly.
Maybe they did that on purpose. Unlikely, but maybe they did.
Very unlikely. All right, let's talk about the unique enhancements,
Okay.
right? So if you have a Galician champion,
Yeah,
you
he
now
can take an aspect of the champion.
yeah, you get one of these for free in your army. You've got Teleport, Tunnel Master outside 9 inches, Fueled by Gorish
That's
Rage.
once per battle, eh?
Once per battle. They're all once per battle. Apart from Stubborn as Rhinox, where you count as 10 on an objective. Fueled by Gorish Rage. Then on a 3+, basically, you can ignore being slain the first time it gets slain.
Deaded, yeah.
Yeah, and then Leadership of the Alpha is once per battle. A Galician champion can issue 3 commands, but they can only be rally, all-out attack, on all-out defense, or redeploy. So if you did have the right army, you could have 3 4-up rallies.
Yeah.
Coming out of that guy. If he's a general, it's going to be hotter than 18 inches. Any of these take your fancy?
I mean, obviously I've been playing with the 4-up rally. I don't know if there's many times I would have wanted to do it 3 times.
That's true. A triple redeploy is quite fun.
Yeah, redeploy. The all-out redeploy would be great. The 3-out redeploy. That would be fun.
Yeah, I think like everyone said, I think the rally will go away on Gits in the new book. I also think rally will go away on the Beast of Chaos in the new book as well. So that's kind of my take.
They're gonna make it a 2-up rally for Gits because Gits come back real fast. Because they're like mushrooms. So you just squish one and it just grows back.
They're going to make it a 2-up rally.
2-up rally.
Because they're only little.
Rerolling ones when
you haven't got to rally a lot. Like
no.
they're very rallyable.
Yeah, they're very easy to bring back to life. Just a little bit of water, and the mushrooms start, and then it's all there.
Have you ever grown mushrooms? You ever done them like buy a box and grow mushrooms?
Yeah. I've grown those ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not done that yet. Is it good?
Yeah. It's quite. Yeah.
Quiet. Did you say it's quiet?
I said it's quiet, and then I didn't know what it was quiet, so then I just sort of meandered off of the sentence.
I like
it's quite therapeutic. It's a fun thing to do. Yeah. I've done that.
The old Galet Raleigh.
The Galet Raleigh.
The Galet Raleigh. Yeah, quite quiet. Yeah, I imagine you've now got a couple of boxes of mushrooms growing, and you walk in, and you go, "Oh, it's so quiet in here, lads. Good job."
Hey, keep it down in here. Those are the special mushrooms.
I like Stubborn as a Rhinox, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Counting on 10 as an objective. The Fuel by Garish Rage is kind of fun. If someone tries to kill your Galician champ, then you can kind of bait it out and a 3+ come back, but it is a 3+. And even the Tunnel Master is actually quite good, because then you've got champions which you weren't expecting to like deep strike up the board can now do that. And on some of the missions, you can like get onto those
it's a normal move.
objectives. Like, that's quite fun. Yeah, have you got a standout one?
I think I will probably start with Stubborn as a Rhinox as my top pick.
I think I'll probably go for Leadership of the Alpha, just because if my Galician champion, which in most of my lists is just some dude on the back of the board, like, also he's slow. Like, if it could be like my Flux Master, he just yeet over the board. Nathan, question: the Lumineth Realm Lords character, okay?
Oh yeah, that Law Master guy. Yeah.
No.
Another one.
Sorry, the guy who's the Wind Mage. He's on a cloud.
Yeah, with a stick on a cloud.
He's the guy who's on a cloud.
Yeah.
Right, flying on the cloud. Is the cloud a mount or not a mount?
I don't know. What does it say on the thing? On the words?
Well, I know what the words say.
What does the word say?
I'm asking
is it a companion? Maybe it's a companion. That's what it is. The cloud is a companion.
Yeah, the cloud doesn't have an attack. The rules as written are that it's not mounted.
Oh,
and I guess a cloud isn't a mount.
No.
But I worry that it might be, because Tzeentch are on discs.
And do those count as mounts?
They're mounts.
Oh.
They're demons trapped in a disc.
Okay.
It's a frisbee with a demon in it.
Sentient.
Sentient
Whereas
frisbees.
his cloud isn't sentient. It's just
never been
some vapor.
It's just some water, really. It's effectively just the Hydro homies listening to the podcast, is what it is.
Yeah.
Those discs have no eyes. I agree. It's an emission. Is an interesting one. The cloud doesn't have an attack. The effect of the cloud is cumulative.
That guy's
MJ Pegasus is very funny.
That's very skillfully worded, sir.
All right, okay. So, ignoring that guy, also the Stone Mage.
On a rock.
He's on a rock.
Is that a mount?
Is that a mount? Yes or no?
But a lot of things are on rocks.
I think you're right.
I mean,
hadn't thought about that.
At one point or another, you could say we are mounted on this planet.
Which is a rock.
Yeah, it is my mount. Giddy up.
Giddy up, baby.
Giddy up, planet.
Giddy up. Okay, fine.
Right.
Okay, and horses are just friends, so really it's all become very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, mounts are alive. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example where a mount isn't alive. So, like, is the Battle Mage on Hurricanum? He's on the cart.
What about...
The cart isn't alive.
No, but it's pulled by horses which are alive. But what about...
He's not on the horse.
Yeah. But what about... I got one.
No,
the Nighthaunt guy on a dead horse. It's not alive. It's a dead horse.
It's a dead horse. That's a good one. I actually watched a real... I haven't told you about this. I was watching a YouTube video the other day about how things connect and if they are or aren't a thing.
What?
Okay, all right. Okay, let me give you an example.
Things,
right?
That's where...
Okay, so if I get a bunch of blocks
and
I stack them on top of each other, what is that?
That's a bunch of blocks. A stack of blocks.
It's a tower.
Sure.
It's a tower, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But then when I knock them apart,
they're
no longer a tower.
No, it's a collapsed tower.
It's a collapsed tower, right?
If it was a tower.
Yet a bikini is separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in they're not touching. Yet all of it is a bikini.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah. All right.
That's it. There's a lot about, like...
I don't understand.
Okay, there's...
a bikini is, the sum of two parts.
No, it's not the sum of two parts, though. It's a singular thing.
Yeah, but it's the singular thing is the sum of two parts.
Well, actually, so there's two schools of thought on it. Some people say that, like, a thing needs... In order for a thing to be a thing, it needs to connect.
No.
I agree, right? But then, in that case... what was the example? I'll try to remember. There was something happening. They were just, it was like chairs. Chairs aren't real. Chairs aren't real, basically.
Oh.
There's a long story about it.
Are they mounts?
That's a great question. I really want to find the video now. Hold on one sec. Okay, so let's carry on. Right, okay, so the important part is, and that we've now spent 25 minutes researching, is that a mount is a property of a champion as opposed to part of a champion.
Yeah, it's like an upgrade thing, isn't it?
A property?
But, yeah.
Yeah. Like, technically, I guess a chair could be a mount.
Yeah, depending on your definition of what a mount is.
Well, to Games Workshop, it's not a cloud, but it is a disc.
Yeah, but it's a sentient disc that's got a demon inside of it.
That
as
particular
opposed
case,
to just a disc.
That's true. That's
Right.
true. That's true. But isn't one of the Gobblepalooza riding a mushroom?
Yes.
Is it a mount?
No.
But
I don't know. It might be.
But its property
I
is a
always
mushroom.
say it's mounted, actually. When I'm playing with it, I tell people, this guy is on a mount, that's why he's got 4 wounds instead of 3. Like
That's the
this
essence.
guy that doesn't.
Yeah, that's the essence
So,
of
yes,
human
that's mount.
thought. We've applied property to it.
Human thought is rubbish anyway. Let's not try and get the essence of that shit.
Right, okay. So, let's carry on. Thank you to the Dark Lord of Cheese for donating £5. So please stop. I like knowing if I exist. Okay, all right. So, okay. So, Galician champions can also gain new properties in the form of artifacts.
Yeah. Oh, artifacts. We're on artifacts. now.
Yeah, properties.
Right, gotcha.
They could get the Tusk Helm, Nightfly Cloak, and the Griff of the Charm. So, 5 at ward. Do ogre charges and then Nightfire Cloak, which is like teleport around the board or something during deployment. Or you can take it off the board and reset.
Oh yeah, ambush type thing.
What are you thinking? Do you like any of these? Chat, do you like any of these?
Oh yeah, they're great. I mean, having a 5-up board is great.
Yeah, 5 at ward is great.
Yeah.
Like especially like War Chanters, a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Mega Boss on foot would love it. All yeah. There's dudes that love that. Flying around is quite nice. Especially if you've got like an aura buff or you've got a buff that your command ability that you want to be checking out, and then you can keep him or her safe, or them, whatever they are, hiding behind something, and then when you need it, it can go and be there.
Yeah, I like the 5 at ward, just because it's nice, but then like...
wait, no, that's during deployment. No, I've sold that one. And then the Tusk Helm is...
Ogre charge.
So far.
Ogre charges. Ogre charges.
Yeah, interesting. I think the Griff Feather Charm is probably the most useful, and then the other two, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, someone's saying in the chat, if I can have a character do another ogre charge, like, you know, if I can do Kragnos and do a 3d6 charge, then that's good. Oh, you guys don't see it. Sorry, chat. I'll make it so you can see it. Yeah,
it's got purple writing.
Yeah, so having the ward save is either a ward save or like an out ward save. I don't really. It doesn't matter. We can skip the video for now. I think the 5 ward's good, and I think the Tusk Helm. I think all of them will get use, but they've all got to compete with Arcane Tome already.
Yeah,
which is
that's quite a useful one.
It's so useful. And some armies will be like, sweet, I love that 5 up board, that's great.
Yeah.
So love that. Staying on topic is certainly not a property of the stream. It's not correct. Correct. And then we got the Grand Strats, and so there's old ones.
Yeah.
Tame the Land, which is control all objectives on the battlefield that are outside your territory. Never take that. Defend what's ours, which is no one in your territory. Take what's theirs, which is more of you in their territory. And then stake a claim. So those are the current ones, and I think this is where we get into the conversation about like book tactics, because like Tzeentch have got like just have some Destiny dice basically. Yeah, that feels like a pretty easy one compared to have none of your army in my territory or have all of my army in your territory, right? Yeah, that's a real toughie. So like when you look at them, you think actually before we get to the champion ones, they're pretty challenging. But if I've got a book tactic that's just a fire save one that's just like keep a Magnic Invocation on the board, you're like, just do that instead. Yeah. Like, so that's what I think. Do you take any of these? Take What's Theirs is the most popular one of the last GHB. 24% of all army lists had Take What's Theirs in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I guess that one's tempting. I probably be interested in Stake a Claim, like some of the new ones with the champions, because I think I'll have quite a few champions in my lists. So
That's true. Okay. So then, yeah, you're not going to do Stake a Claim, though. When the battle ends, you complete the squad strategy. 3 or more of your friendly Galician champions are wholly within enemy territory.
Yeah, that was...
No one's taken that. You got to have 3 alive.
I'll have loads, 7 alive.
You're never going to do that.
They're all over the place.
Survivor's Instinct, when the battle ends, you complete this grand strat, then model picture of your general, contested objective wholly outside your territory. You might do that. But like these ones are all dependent on a character being...
Yeah, and also some of the scenarios. Like some of them are...
No, there'll always be an objective outside your deployment.
Wholly outside your deployment?
Oh, they might not be on...
What if they're inactive?
Huh?
What if they're the inactive ones?
They're inactive ones, or if you're playing Jaws of Galette, where you can delete the ones outside.
Yeah.
So I personally, I personally wouldn't do that either. And then Days Ours, when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if they're more of friendly Galician champions than your enemy Galician champions. And that one feels like the one that you would most likely take.
Yeah.
I think Survivor's Instinct is a no, Stake a Claim is no, and we'll see in 6 months how I did on the stats on that. But I think it's going to be Days Ours.
So yeah, it's going to be Days Ours or Take What's Theirs.
I think they'll be the 2 competing ones, but the book ones...
And then the book ones will be the most...
I think the book ones will be the, like...
Number one
per faction.
Yeah.
Unless, again, this is the disparity, right? You have a book where you have bad grand strategies in the books.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a toughie.
Yeah.
I will require anyone to play I watched this video first, because how can we even read rules if they're not from the same... Okay, alright, chat. Apologies. So yeah, so this starts to showcase the disparity, and then when you get to the battle tactics, you got gain momentum, kill an enemy, kill a targeted unit, and then hold more objectives.
Yeah,
it's a good one. Eye for an eye, it's a good one. Desecrate the lands, great one.
Yeah,
and then this one's mine. So kill something in your general. Depends on your general.
That's always a good one to do. I enjoy doing that
one. Yeah, I like that one. That one's good. Yeah, this one's mine's great. But before we talk about the champion ones. The game, this is the big change in the game. They no longer have against the odds.
Yeah.
And I think that actually is more impactful to the game than people realise. Like, if you banned book strategies, some armies would be like, oh no, I have to move outside this deployment very early. Like, I honestly think that and against the odds for people who don't know for some reason, and you've listened this far, for some reason, is it used to be that you just basically just held an objective. You just stood on an objective, you just held it, right? It's a massive change to the game.
If you decided that objective was a real thing that existed, and all of that.
Existing is a property of it being there, I think.
Yeah.
Against the odds was so unbelievably easy, but it did always what can I talk about 2 things about Against the Odds?
Yeah.
First thing, it was a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
You never met someone before, you're playing a game and they'd be like, I'm gonna do Against the Odds. You'd be like, listen, in the very likely odds, and they'd be like, yeah, great joke, high five. You do that 5 turns over the tournament, you'd have made a load of friends. Yeah. So that's sad that that's gone, because that was a good icebreaker.
I mean, never before have that phrase brought so many smiles to people's faces. In all the history of humankind. A real concentration of smiling post that phrase.
A sports vote every time. Yeah, thank you. It's good.
Anyway, there we go.
And then, so there's that. That's an important part. That was a great icebreaker. And then number 2, it was just a real nice one to just be like, I was going to save that one for later. You do like a stressful turn 1-1.
Oh yeah. If you were like, I'm not going to do this one, then your opponent would be like, oh, interesting.
It reminds me of like when you would eat like the veg, or like when you have a meal and you're like, the bit I really want is like the sausages or the steak.
I'm going to save this bit for the middle, and then you die of food poisoning before you get to it, and then that's it. You missed out on the good bit.
But it was nice. It was like, it gave you a nice feeling. You made an early joke, and then you saved something for later. You were just having a great time. Can we get more weekly updates about Nathan? Sure.
What?
Yeah.
Weekly ones?
I think people just like us hanging out. This works better than online.
Oh.
I think. Do you not think?
Yeah.
It's got better energy. Obviously, don't travel from Leicester all the time. But I could come to you on a train.
Yeah.
Your internet doesn't work though, so we can't do that.
we could say we did shows.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We did a great show at Nathan's house. No one saw it.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Okay, so when we talk about battle tactics, the fact that against the odds, which was really just really in the odds. Great joke. High five.
Oh dear. Games Workshop.
Right, is what was I going to say? Like that being gone is huge, and then we get into like the Galician champion ones, right? So you got Matter of Honor, pick a Galician champion or sworn bodyguard unit. You complete this battle tactic if that unit is destroyed during this turn by an attack made by a friendly Galician champion or sworn bodyguard unit. So it's basically eye for an eye, but you have to do it with
a champ.
With a champ, and that's not going to be easy because generally foot champs are terrible in a fight.
Yeah.
Please go see our video on foot champs aren't great at fighting.
Yeah.
Remember we did the show where we talked about some are.
Some are alright, and they'll probably kill another one, maybe. Especially if, you wounded it a bit with some spells or things first.
Yeah, if you're okay, he's down to a wound. Yeah. But then even then, in a lot of cases, I'm not necessarily...
Send a slad in, and he'll do him.
Hestal Ernst, today I brought myself the Gits Xmas box and the Gits Start Collecting, and now look at the guy next to Rob. Yes, yes, Stahl, thank you. Of course, Tyrants are alright. I'm sure, we can think of a couple of examples of quite fighty champions
on foot and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, War Chanter's not bad.
Yeah,
War Chanter's not bad. But it's never going to be my Cursling. Oh, actually, Cursling's not bad in a fight. Actually, saying that.
Everything you've said so far is not bad.
Skink Priest.
It's rubbish. But he could kill something if it's got a couple of wounds left, because it can shoot as well, can't it? That thing.
Yeah, he can. He's got a shooting attack. 18 inches, 20 D3 damage, Starfire. Ridiculous. Yeah. I'm all aboard the Grimwrath train. Yeah, Grimwrath Berserkers. I'm sure there's some armies that can have it. Do you know what's funny is the unit champion from Unit of Chosen, is so much stronger than a Chaos Lord in a fight. It's very funny. You're just stay as a Chosen dude, is what I say. Alright, so that's Matter of Honor. Lead the assault. Complete this battle tactic if at least 2 of the objectives you control are in enemy territory and each contested by a friendly Galician champion. So this is almost like a never achieved, because some battle plans don't have 2 objectives that are in enemy territory.
Yeah.
And then you've also got to get your Galician champions on the board.
Yeah.
So
it's like end of the game once you've dominated your opponent. And they're crying in the corner, and then you can say, I'm doing lead the assault. And then that's when they just break down.
Yeah, that's when they cry. Yeah. And they cry. They're like, I liked you so much more when it was against the odds. The joke was great.
There's no smiling when I lead the assault.
Yeah, and in some battle plans, there aren't even 2 objectives in your opponent's territory.
Yeah.
So
when you do that, then you just
and then we've got United Offense. Pick 1 objective controlled by your opponent. So this is effectively against the odds, but with a champion. You complete this battle tactic if you control that objective and 2 or more friendly Galician champions to contest that objective at the end of this turn.
Well, yeah, and also they have to have controlled it at the beginning, so it's not really against the odds.
Okay, fine. Yeah. It's not. But they have a Galician champion controlling it, and then you need to control it.
Yeah.
But you just murder their Galician champion, and you move your dude on. Yeah. So and you can deny this one. This is one of those few ones you can deny where you can actually.
You don't have to. Yeah, you do. You have to if you control the objective and 2 or more champions as well. Yeah, not just 1.
So Merc Arrow, makes a good point in the chat. It's when you read it through, they want Galician champions to be mega aggro, and they've given them nothing. They're you can have a 5-up ward. You're okay, but they have 6 Gore Grunters. I don't think he's gonna live. He's got 5 wounds. In some cases, maybe, we talked about with the Tyrant, Grimwrath Berserker, stuff like that. But most stuff, no.
Yeah, especially if kill their 6 Gore Grunters and then just stand there and do the thing.
Yeah, especially if especially if someone does a realm spell and just nukes 6 mortal wounds onto your guy, that's going to be pretty rough.
Yeah, sad times. Make sure he's standing on the thing, covering it with his foot.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Then you've got Cunning Maneuver. Pick 1 friendly Galician champion on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches from all enemy units. Complete this battle tactic if at the end of the turn the Galician champion is more than 3 inches from all enemy units. This contested objective you control wholly outside your territory.
That is cunning maneuver.
That is a cunning maneuver.
Pick one friendly champion. Blah blah blah.
Could be about if at the end of the turn the Galician champion is more than 3 inches. Oh, and a contested objective. Sorry, this is the one that's.
Well, this is the all.
This is the
yeah,
this
the,
is the against the odds.
The odds. But
Yeah. Oh, we can recode. We do like I'm going to do a cunning maneuver. But like it's not that cunning, mate. We got it back.
Great maneuver.
Not great maneuver.
So
it's basically have a dude on an objective and then gain another objective with the champion. Oh, just have that objective.
So he's not allowed to start the battle in the fight.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's not allowed to end the battle in the fight. More than 3 from, and the objective is wholly outside of your territory.
Yeah, so it's like it's not quite against the odds,
No.
like Terry says. Slightly more against the odds than against the odds.
Yeah, it's more difficult.
Wait, Epidemius is sitting in a chair. Does he have the mount property? Checkmate. Is Epidemius mounted?
No. We already said chairs aren't mounts. They're just things you sit on. Whatever. They're like chairs.
You sit on a horse.
So it's not the only property that defines them.
We're sitting on them. There's a different property to define them.
A chair is a chair.
The property of a chair is you sit on it.
No, that's not the only property.
Okay,
It's got to have legs and a seat.
I've seen there's that chair that they have at the cricket where it's just the one pole.
Yeah, one
and
leg.
It's made of cloth.
One-legged chair.
One-legged chair. A horse is just a moving chair, right?
If the horse is called chair, then I guess it's a chair, but it's not really a chair.
Okay, does it fold or not? It's a great question. Okay, don't tell people you're out of the mountain and everything. I always have to stop myself calling him Epidemius. Me too. Right, okay, not mounted on his war scroll, so he's not. So Epidemius
There you go, it's already defined. Somebody else defined it for us.
Okay, perfect.
There.
Yeah.
We just listen to the definers.
Okay, good. All right, so then there's the battle plan.
As long as it's not that real flexible fella. 'Cause that guy can fuck right
What
off.
was his name? Vsauce, that was his name. I liked him. All right, okay, so talk to me about what you think, because this has gone on for longer than it should have.
Yeah.
What do you think about the GHB? Like, wholesale chat, same
Yeah,
question.
so I think it's quite a big change. I think some armies are going to really enjoy it. Nighthawk, my kids are going to love it. I might win a few more games other than 2 every now and again.
Well, I mean, you're going to get a new battle tome soon that's going to be super stonks, apparently.
There
so,
you go.
Yeah.
Now I'll win loads of games.
I think.
And I think, yeah.
Go
No.
on.
So, yeah, I do. I think the big change is the bounty hunters going away, and they were probably restricting some armies. I mean, with the top armies were still maybe not taking the bounty hunters anyway, and were going with 1-drops. But then they weren't playing with Galician veterans a lot of the time.
So Bounty Hunters was the most taken battalion.
Oh, really?
But like it's kind of like a slightly disingenuous because some people would do battle regiment and bounty hunters. Some people would do like bounty so you would have the people going for lower drops in the conjunction. But like it ended up being the most popular battalion with battle regiment obviously being second. And obviously, why not? Like anything that gives like a bonus to damage. I think I would have liked to have seen the sharpshooters. I don't know if I would have liked to have seen the sharpshooters get additional damage or like. I'm trying to think it through. I'm like the one thing that they didn't do is they gave you like you could have an artifact. You can have 5 award. I'm like, bro, my dude's not going to live yeeting across the board. Like my Magister on foot's not getting across the board. Do you know what I mean? Like my Swamp Caller Shaman, love him, but he's unlikely to get across the board into the enemy territory, and he's not doing it anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like he's doing it turns 4 and 5. So if they wanted us to have mega aggro, and that was kind of the point of the show we did, like a couple of weeks ago on the Monday show with you, me, and James, where we went through a bunch of characters, and I've said they just don't know how to right foot characters. This would be a wicked GHB if they had actually ever written good duelist characters. Like they've done it with like Voltharion, Sigvald, example, but they're all special characters. Like if we actually had like swashbucklers, etc.
Well, I think Tyrant's gonna love it. I think
but that's almost a monster, isn't it?
Mega bosses on foot are too slow, probably, but they do end up on that side of the board eventually.
It's kind of like when you like, you know, when you watch like the movie, like, and then you've got like the guy that's just super good at, I don't know, sword fighting, and he ends up fighting the big monster with a giant axe. You know, like Lord of the Rings, when you end up like with a troll. Like, you kind of think at some point you're like, they should have really written like your Aragon sort of level swordsman in the rules so that they could kind of be that. Like, because I was looking through them, most heroes are wizards or support characters.
Yeah.
Like, most heroes aren't like, obviously you've got Bastian Karthlos, good example of like a fighty guy, but in order to make a fighty guy, they had to make him 300 points, give him a 4-up ward save that deletes all damage he gets removed, and give him a damage 4 weapon. So when you've got like guys who are like 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, damage 2, you're like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
but I guess that's where the skill is in making those dudes do things then. Because they do stuff, that's why they end up in lists. But it's normally support, so now you're wanting them to, so now you've got to express your skills in making them do a little bit of extra stuff as well.
I think we could probably go through the list. Obviously, we won't do it on this show, and go through the stuff that does get taken and why like it doesn't. Like the Loom Boss, for example, in your list.
He always goes
he
up with the dudes because
you also send in Spiker.
Yeah.
How many attacks does Spiker have?
1 attack, but he's not a hero.
But that's my point. Did I not live stream a game of you charging Nagash with Spiker?
Yeah. Did I?
You did.
I might have. I've definitely charged Nagash with a Madcap Shaman.
Of that, I have no doubt. My point is that like an anointed Vassarian on foot, right? What he does is not be very good in a fight, and then makes it so that the unit next to him is immune to battle shock, and then they get like +1 hit. And I'm like, he should be like, I'm not saying his fight is Bastion, but he should be like pretty fighty. He's an elf. Like, what would Legolas do? What would the Princess Bride do? Like, have you watched the Princess Bride?
Yeah.
The swashbuckler in the Princess Bride.
What would he do?
He'd sword fight is my point. That's
but
what
how many people could he sword fight before he couldn't handle it? Like, I mean, him against 5 dudes, who wins?
Him in the movie. Him.
What if the 5 dudes are fairly decent, like Chosen?
Like, yeah, but I'm not asking them to fight Chosen. Okay, here's my example.
Yeah.
I reckon.
So who's he fighting?
I'd like a melee hero to fight and win versus 10 free guild swordsmen.
Surely most of them do.
I don't
like
think
if they fight first.
They don't kill them. Almost none of them have damage 10. Like,
oh yeah, they won't kill all of them, but they'll survive the fight, and they'll eventually kill them over a few rounds of combat. You're not expecting them to just outright kill 10 dudes and like without even.
I think I am.
Getting a sweat up. No, they've got to fight a bit. They've got to like
dance around.
Yeah, because the 10 free guilds are soldiers. They're not lost cops.
They are soldiers.
Yeah.
But like,
so they're like trained dudes that are fighters. So you can't. They won't just roll over for some fancy dude just because he's a swashbuckler.
Some fancy dude. Okay. I just reckon that they could up the power level of a couple of the fancy dudes, giving them damage 3 weapons. Like.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, wouldn't want them to kill 10 dudes outright. Unless they were like proper meaty, an ogre.
I would like them to have the ability to kill 10.
Yeah.
Like what I'm
an
saying
outside chance.
Well, okay, so if it was like 4 attacks,
yeah,
that was 3s and 3s, Ren 2 because they got a magic sword, obviously, and it's damage 3. So my potential damage is 12. Yeah. And that's not a bad profile. 4 attacks, 3 3s, Ren 2, damage 3. Yeah. As a standard hero, and you're like, do you know what? But you're definitely going to drop a hit or a wound. So now it's down to 9, right? And then they might make a save, so now it's down to 6. You're like, that's fine. But like they currently have like 4 attacks, 3 3s, Ren 1, damage 1. And you're like, okay.
Or D3 or something.
Yeah. That's 1 more attack than a Doom Ball, but I think Doom Ball should do more than that.
Oh yeah.
Right, obviously. I mean, I would like it if the mighty Lord of Khorne could kill 10 free guild swordsmen. See, that's what I mean. Like the mighty Lord of Khorne should.
Yeah, but he's just a dude.
He's not.
His
properties are mighty, Lord,
Yeah.
Corn.
Free guild swordsman.
Jacked.
I'm not
Jacked.
a free guild toilet cleaner or something. I don't know. I don't want to be derogatory.
Hey man, the working class,
Yeah,
they're strong.
But yeah, exactly. I bet toilet cleaner would be quite hard to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you are a mighty
It'd be
lord of corn, you take a toilet brush up the nostril, you're not killing nothing.
Also, imagine how fucking steely-eyed and iron-willed. You wake up in the morning, you have your cereal, you have your coffee or whatever, and then you think, today I've got to go into my office, or today I've got to go to my workplace. But that motherfucker's woken up for 40 years, and is like, I am going to absolutely hammer those toilets clean. Yeah, that guy's got the will of a god. Yeah, like Zeus.
And he's got the weapons as well, yeah.
He does, yeah. He'll have all sorts
bunch
of chemicals.
chlorine in your eyes.
Right, okay, so overall, I think the GHB is kind of like, I don't want to say business as usual. There's a huge question mark around battle tactics, in my opinion, which I think most people will just skip. Most heroes will be like, oh, whatever, battle tactics. And it's not really the GHB's fault. It's mainly a conversation around the fact that the battle tactics aren't of equal ability.
Yeah. And it's whether you think they've been clever enough for them to compensate for if they're weak at the main tactics, if those are easier. But that's unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely. And then, so I think that's the thing. Bounty Hunt's going away. I agree with you. And then I kind of like the champions thing. I really wish they'd given them maybe even better buffs.
You want a swashbuckler keyword?
I do want a swashbuckler keyword. Absolutely. Are you telling me Intoyo Montaga? What's the guy's name from Princess Bride?
Yeah, something like that.
My name is Intoyo Montaga. You murdered my father. Prepare to die.
That guy wouldn't take on 10 free gold.
He would take... Have you not seen the film? He takes on 30 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a fictional film, that is.
It's a fictional film. It's true.
Real life.
I got a real story for you. A lot of the films are fictional.
Not like this game.
No, this game is completely serious. So but I mean, even the Griffeather Charm being a 5 ward. I mean, would we have really given a fuck if there was a 4 ward on a Griffeather Charm, ignoring what you could have done with the mask from Bone Splitters? Because you could have done some crazy stuff from that. But ignoring that, would a 4 ward have really killed him?
He can take a 4 ward anyway, though, dude.
You can, but you could have another guy with a 4 ward
and another mask.
That would
be fun.
That
guy is great, actually. Yeah. I bet he's a happy lad.
He's happy. I
mean, he was always been a happy lad.
He's so happy.
He's more happy.
I really like the people that in the hero phase they go, this one's mine, where your general kills it, and they're like, and then you just immediately realise that he's going to try and mask off your 600-point unit with the mask.
He can do that before he chooses that battle tactic, can't he? Because doesn't that happen at the start of the hero phase, that mask thing?
Okay, right. Can we talk about this? Because actually, I mean, no one's going to listen to this part of the show anyway, so that's fine.
They're all going to still be listening to the thing about chairs and stuff. They'll have
chairs
rewound
aren't real!
And then watched it again, and then just rewound, and nobody will ever get past that point.
My point is that thank you, the rogue. My point is that
the incarnate is just a carnate in a garage.
It's actually Inigo Montoya is actually just an ego in a garage.
Go Montoya.
Right. Okay. So there's a conversation right now happening about the hero phase where people are there's long rules as written versus rules as intended. Conversation about okay, so you can do a bunch of your stuff that happens at the hero phase first, and then choose your battle tactic. 'Cause it's your turn. You get to pick the order. Yeah. Can we just straight up say you pick your battle tactic, then you start your fucking turn? Everyone's like, that's not how it's written, and I'm like, just say that's how it works, and then it's fine. No, my hero action.
No, but they asked them specifically, and they said that's not the way.
Who did they ask?
The dudes that write the rules.
They did ask them that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't.
So they loved it.
Don't forget, we also asked them if foxes worked the way that they worked, and they were like, "You fucking bet your ass they work that way."
Yeah, they did for a while. Bastard things.
They don't now, though, do they?
Nope.
That's my point.
I killed one with vomit once. It was great.
Right. I would just like to see it just be at the start of the hero phase. Choose. You choose your battle tactic.
Vomiting on foxes.
I always just choose it. I just like battle tactic, and then let's crack on with my turn. Like whatever.
Yeah, you just want everybody to be like you.
No, I'm just saying.
Just because of chairs and shit like that.
No, I'm just saying. Oh my god. I just think, you look. If you're telling me chairs aren't real, I pick my tactic whenever the fuck I want.
Foul tactics aren't real, so fuck you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Oostergen's making a good point, right? We had to accept, the
For more than a year.
yeah for more than a year. It was awful. It was awful.
It was a bad year that
It
year.
was a bad fucking year. Those foxes were awful. Anyway, right. Listen, Nathan, it's been great talking to you about it. Overall, you positive?
Yep.
All right, me too. Because we've got a new Beast book, we've got a new Gits book, we've got
New Slaves book.
that's already out technically. But
Content
I
creator
guess sorry, no rules is written. It's not out yet. So battle tactics, whatever you like, and no Slaves of Darkness right now. New content creator book. There's been an FAQ as well. Like that's coming out on Thursday. So Daughters of Cain have had some of their stuff changed, and then they've done all new points changes for all the different armies, which I'm going to go through in another video.
Sorceress and Black Dragon.
Sorceress and Black Dragon. Oh, there's no 5 points in the game anymore.
Zero.
Do you know that? There are no 5 points in the game.
Oh.
Yeah,
They've adjusted everything to...
Zeros again.
Oh. They've taken out the 5-point increments. Oh, the 5-point whatever, yeah.
I gotta say, great decision.
Why? You don't like the maths, do you?
It was embarrassing.
Intricate mathematics.
No,
of
it was
5
embarrassing
points,
when they were like,
5 and
this
5.
unit was great. Minus 5. Like, at one point, they took Nagash from 950 points to 955 points.
Yeah, that's fine-tuning at its finest.
It's not fine-tuning at its finest.
It is, because I killed him with a netter.
I watched a video yesterday of like literally a fucking grassland being on fire, like just like like a forest fire sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was grass, all on fire. And then the video was of someone, and this person runs out of his house with like a cup of water, and they just fucking threw it. And I was like, that's a 5-point difference on Nagash is what that is. Yeah, absolutely useless.
Cogsmith has gone down 10 points.
Have I asked Nathan how many squigs are in his pockets today? Nathan, there is no chance that you are... Have you got any squigs in your pockets?
10 squigs in my pocket, in my jacket, which is by the van now.
You've got 10 squigs in your pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is a surprise to me. Nathan, can you help me write a Gits list? I have one day in Blackburn at the end of the month.
One day in Blackburn?
Yeah, he's just going to Blackburn.
That's like
and that's unrelated.
One day in Bangkok.
Yeah, and it's absolutely unrelated to the Gits list. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone does want a Gits list.
I definitely recommend taking 36 strong squig herd.
Yeah.
With all the trimmings.
Are they in squigs or?
Yes.
My God, Nathan. When the squigs are inside the loon shrine, they're in squigs.
Yeah. Maybe if you want to define them as a new thing.
Well, their property is that they're in the loon shrine.
They're still squigs.
They are, but they're also in squigs.
You can define them as that or garrison squigs. You can use whatever word you want.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Right, well.
36 squigs in a squig herd. 2 units of sneaky snufflers.
Are we doing the whole thing? Sorry.
A loon boss on a giant cave squig.
Love
and
that.
a loon boss on mangler squigs.
Okay, good.
And then some other stuff.
Whatever you like.
Yeah, I've got 2 units of Boingrots. 10 of them each. And 2 units of Gitsa screens. And a couple of wizards.
But the main thing is...
The squig herd is hilarious. It goes so fast and eats so much stuff.
It's like a plague of locusts with squigs.
Yeah.
All right, okay, great. Listen, we've got loads to talk about on another show. Monday, we're going to do the World Championship show. We'll talk about that. But listen, I hope you've all enjoyed it. Nate, thanks for coming into the studio.
No problems.
Massive thank you from me. Chat, if you want to just... Please do, obviously, follow Nathan on Twitter and check it out. The Monday show will be back. We're also going to be a channel update sometime soon about where all the content that we make is going to be. So if you are listening to this as a podcast, your podcast feed will be reignited soon with a bunch of podcast stuff. Effectively, I'm going to split the streams a little bit.
Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know.
Oh, across the screen. I'd never know what you do with your streams.
But yeah, it's
you do whatever you want with your streams.
They're
your streams.
I'm going to. But anyway, yeah, loads of love, chat. Thanks for tuning in. If you listen to a podcast, lots of love. And if you listen to this, obviously, on YouTube, then just like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, perfect.